I watched it yesterday. I could not believe what I was watching. But you be the judge. I mean, ultimately, that's what should be done here, right? Yeah. I shouldn't give my own opinion on this topic because everybody.
Don't say that because I want to give mine. Don't say that.
Give yours. I mean, you don't think this is an attack on Italians?
I don't.
And here's why I do. Because this is what always happens to Italian Americans. They always are associated with the mob. Now, with the fact that there is a history with Anthony's father, and we know it's public. There is a history there.
Right.
First of all, as an attorney representing the mob that's your duty as an attorney. Attorneys have to represent murderers. They have to represent drug dealers. They have to oftentimes they're representing people that are, everybody deserves a defense in America, and that's what attorneys are for.
To your point,
but what I'm saying is that Anthony, there is no. It is a low blow. This guy is I hate that he probably will be offended by me saying this, but Anthony Brindisi is a Boy Scout. He is a decent father, a decent human being, and I'm not saying that his father isn't. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm saying is he doesn't have. He's been in politics. This would have happened when he ran for the assembly, wouldn't it? And it kind of did. But this is what people do. Automatically associate Italians. You look at an Italian, they have a nice house. We wonder how they got that house. Okay? That's what people do to Italians.
That's what that's a fair point you're making.
And I'm just saying that's why I feel Italians should be offended by this.
Luckily, the fact that...
Are you done with your...
No, I just want to say, in the OD article, it notes here, it mentions his legal associate was killed, and it says that he had defended individuals linked to organized crime, stopped handling criminal cases as a result. So
There's a book he's mentioned in the book. I mean, listen.
I think the tie here with his father, it comes from somewhere. That's what she's alluding to. I do think it's out of bounds, but I don't. What I see, although I do think you make a good point in what you just said, that she's trying to tie him
Jeff,
to it.
It was an attorney that represented the mob.
No, I know.
She's connecting.
No, I know.
Him to that activity.
No, I know.
Which is ridiculous.
I'm just saying it's not like his name ends in a vowel, and she's blatantly out there saying, "Oh, well, his name ends in a vowel. He's probably tied to organized crime." There's rumors in history.
There's a legitimate.
I'm not legit. No, I'm not saying legitimate. I'm just saying it's documented that her allegation does come from somewhere. I do think, though. Again, the quote from Louis Brindisi in here is, "I saw her comments. They were all over the place and very confusing. It makes you scratch your head that a member of Congress would attack where families come from." I think he's spot on here. I mean, her line here. I'm not saying Anthony's part of any of that. But that's the family you come from. I'm shocked at that. Does that mean, if you come from a family where you have an alcoholic in there, does that mean he's a boozer? If you
right.
You know what I mean?
If your father, and again, I'm not talking about anybody here. If your father was a dirtbag,
right,
and should you be judged based on your father? And that's just that
right.
is not necessarily talking about the Brindisi situation, but in any
exactly.
We should not be judged. We should be judged on our own.
Right.
This is just dirty politics, dirty pool. I'm unbelievably baffled at how this is coming out of her mouth. She should have some pack out there doing this dirty stuff.
Right.
What are you doing? If I'm on that campaign, you're the incumbent. You're the one that has to vote. All you have to do is keep doing your job. Meet with constituents. Do good things for people. Help them out. You don't need to do this. What are you doing? Unless she feels she's in trouble. Folks, it's 16 months before Election Day.
I can't believe
16 months before this election.
I got another quote here.
I can't believe she's going down this road. And to do it on an Albany radio show was horrible. She then went and did it on a Rochester radio show. Horrible. But now it's in the USA Today. It's really a part of public record now, and this is a damaging move, I think, for Tenney's campaign.
I do think you're right. Here's another quote, and again, this is from this morning's Observer-Dispatch. She described him as very heavily involved with the organized crime in Utica for many years, representing them. Here's a quote. Again, it just surprises me that she's saying this. My father fought for law and order. Anthony's father represented some of the worst criminals in our community. Again, you've been an elected official for years now.
Should we judge?
And your opening salvo is, my dad was a judge.
Yeah.
Not what I've done.
Should we judge
what I represent.
Congresswoman Tenney on her dad?
I'm kind of surprised.
Is that how people should judge
the
Congresswoman on how her father behaved and what her father did? Is that what we should do? Wow. If you're an attorney, you got to be offended by that.
Can we get some calls on this?
Because
what do people
attorneys,
think?
I mean, imagine if attorneys are judged based on the people they represent.
And that's the thing is, based on that,
315-736-0186.
Based on that audio, she is saying because Anthony's father represented the mob, he was involved in their activity. That's what she said.
She's saying that there. If you can judge for yourself if you dig into what happened back then, but and what involvement he did or did not have. Let's be honest. Louis Brindisi operates an incredibly successful law firm that apparently, when people find themselves in a scenario or in a situation, personal injury going up against the insurance companies, today that's what they do today, they seem to all flock to that law firm. It's a pretty busy law firm. So that would tell me that people have despite anything that might have happened or is said to have happened back in the day, people still seem to look at Lou Brindisi and say, boy, this is the attorney I want. A lot of people use that law firm.
You know what's funny, too, is I think...
And at one point in there, she says, the reporter asked, "What do you think it's fair to be associating Mr. Brindisi with his father?" And she doubles down and says, well, he's a partner in the law firm, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just
think of
baffling.
all the attorneys associated with the O.J. Simpson trial, and then everybody on the defense team. Are they pro-murder? Are they?
Well, I will tell you, the Kardashians came out of that. Not a good example.
Look at the family.
Not
you come
a good
from.
example, right? But I mean, they're all like
the
celebrities.
That apple don't fall too far from the tree.
For having a hand in that case, even the prosecution, they all became like celebrities, and I guess I'm really confused at some of these comments.
We'll play more on it.